Motion passed. Item 2A, approve of Head Start Council meeting agenda items. Number 1, contract services with IBR St. Martin Comprehensive. Number 2, 12-month custodian funding source change. Mrs. Angel. She's not here.
Make a motion that we move into the regular agenda.
Okay. Okay, we'll move item 2A to the regular agenda. All in favor, let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2B, consider and not recommend action with regard to the $500 sales tax supplement in December.
This is being proposed because of the amount that we collected over, for 23-24. Now that we're done with all the financial statements and going through the audit, we exceeded what we collected the prior year. The year before, when we had that excess, we gave it in June, like we tacked it on to their June supplement. We gave them $1,500 instead of $1,000. We didn't do that this past June, so I'm recommending to do that in December.
When will their checks be due?
We'll do it next week. We'll do it next Friday.
So they can.
Motion by Ms. Vital, second by
I wanted
Mr.
to ask
Tony.
a question.
Oh, I have a
I
question.
think that we had some additional money. You don't think we had enough to kick in at least another 100? Close to it? I didn't look at the budget for sales tax.
Yeah, I mean, it probably was. I just went to the closest. I know we don't have enough to do 1,000, so I just went to the
So,
closest.
I'll make a substitute motion for 600.
So we
Yeah, we
probably
can do
won't be able to vote on it. It's not enough.
Yeah, she said it's not.
Yeah,
It's not enough to get
Yeah.
1,000. but it's
I mean,
enough
because
to
we
get
were already collected over what we
It's
projected.
600?
Yeah,
Okay, I have a substitute motion by Mr.
they're
Butcher,
still trending upwards.
second by Ms. Vital to up it to $600.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Okay, let's vote. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, motion passed. Item 2C, general fund budget, monthly budget to actual comparison.
She gave us the,
I handed that out to y'all. There's no action.
Do we need to vote on it?
no, we can go back on,
Item
item
2A,
8. Yeah.
item 2A, approval of Head Start Council meeting agenda item. Number 1, contracted services with IBR St. Martin Comprehensive. And 2, 12-month custodian funding source change. Ms. Angel.
So, these are our contracted services that we've had previous with Iberia Comprehensive, and in October, previously, when y'all approved our Head Start custodian, it was braided funds between 2 early childhood grants, and after we kind of realized where the need is, it's predominantly needed in the Head Start, so we're shifting over to where majority of the salary comes under the Head Start grant.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Cochi, second by Ms. Vital. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Motion passed. Item 2D, resolution to support eliminating taxes on school board supplements. Mr. Cochi.
Yes, the reason why I put that out on the agenda, I noticed, July 8, 2004, Congressman Russell Fletcher added a bill to eliminate income taxes on overtime to encourage employees to do overtime, for the work shortage. So, after speaking to someone in Congress, he told me to go ahead and add it, and I said, school board doesn't get overtime, but we get supplement. So I wanted to draw up a resolution and submit this resolution throughout the state of Louisiana for every school board that gets supplement, to include that with that bill, as an amendment, for our supplement that we get that don't be, is non-taxable, income tax. And I'm asking the board to approve that, and we're gonna send a letter out to our county and, all our counties in the state of Louisiana and all the school boards throughout the state of Louisiana in support of that. And maybe get that passed also where you get that supplement each and every year, it won't be taxable.
It's just state tax.
That'd be federal tax.
Yeah, motion.
Motion by Mr. Booty,
We'd have to do the state.
second by Ms. Vita. Any discussion? In favor, vote. Motion passed.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Booty, second by Mr. Donnell. We adjourn.
All right, with the Wednesday, December 4th regular board meeting come to order, Mr. Wilson, please lead us in prayer.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Dear Lord, guide us today as we make decisions that will help our students and staff. Let us work together for the betterment of our system and all involved in it. In your holy name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Any announcements?
Yes, Mr. President. First announcement is notice is hereby given that at its meeting to be held on Wednesday, January 8, 2025 at 5 p.m. at the Department of Administration Building at 625 Corporate Boulevard, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Parish School Board of the Parish of St. Martin, State of Louisiana plans to consider adopting a resolution considering and calling a special election to be held in the St. Martin Parish School District to authorize the issuance of general obligation bonds. We also have, I was contacted by Ms. Patrice Royer, who's one of our gifted teachers in the parish, and it's Ms. Christina Cox and Ms. Patrice Royer. Unfortunately, Ms. Patrice emailed me this morning. She was very ill and was unable to attend, and I don't know if Ms. Christina Cox is here. Ms. Christina here? So the following gifted students from Ms. Cox and Ms. Royer's gifted classes participated in a regional writing competition, which was sponsored by the National Writing Project of Acadiana called Festival of Words. They competed against schools from the surrounding parishes. The following students participated, and some students placed in this competition. All the winners will be recognized in the spring at a ceremony sponsored by the National Writing Project of Acadiana. And the students that we have, and when I call your name, please stand so that you can be recognized. Is Carter Malvo, a 5th grade student at Baton Elementary.
He's not here.
His title of his writing was Stinky Sock Man, and he was supervised by Ms. Cox. Jeremiah Smith, Bowridge Jr. Okay. Piper Reed, Bowridge Elementary, 4th grade.
She's not here.
Gianna Dean, Parks Primary, 4th grade. Shane is in Wade, 5th grade STEAM Academy. Shane's category was multimedia comic, and the title of his writing was Cat Mayor, and he was supervised by Ms. Patrice Royer. Congratulations. And I should note that Shane placed first in multimedia with his writing. So congratulations. Liam Quibido. I don't want to mispronounce her name. Anusa Venerath. Venerath. Okay. St. Martin Junior, 6th grade. Poetry: The Secret Life of a Cat. Harper Dugas, Parks Middle, 6th grade. Poetry: Happiness. Avery Vito, 7th grade, Parks Middle, 6 years apart. And Kaylee Pate, Parks Middle, 8th grade, Fiction: The Chosen. and all of the last students that are announced were supervised by Ms. Roy. Congratulations again. Board members, I know that you received an email and a text in reference to our press release of the recent test scores that were announced by the LDOE a few weeks ago. I just wanted to publicly acknowledge the fact that of our schools, we had one school that was an A school, and not that it's a negative. Stevensville Elementary dropped by 3 points, but they were still 93.1, which placed them in the eighth category for a school performance score. We had several schools that were B schools. In fact, we had, I think, 3 schools that moved up to that category. Cecilia High grew by 1 point and was actually 1 point away from an 8. So kudos to Cecilia High School. Parks Middle grew by an 0.8 of a point to an 87.2, which is also, phenomenal for them maintaining a B. St. Martinville Senior High grew by 2.5 points, which placed them in the B category as well. Cecilia Primary grew by 0.6 of a point, they're in the B category. Tesh Elementary, 0.3 of a point. Parks Middle grew by 7.7 points, which moved them into the B category. Brokerage High School moved back into the B category with a growth of 2.7 points. Our C schools, Early Learning Center grew by 2.7 points. St. Margaret Primary, 2.3 points. Cecilia Junior High, 3.3 points. St. Margaret Junior High, which was last year in the D category, grew to the C category with 1.4 point increase. Brokerage Primary grew to by 8.5 points. Last year they were in the D category, which moved up. Brokerage Elementary grew by 10.3 points, and last year they were a D school. So that's phenomenal growth. And Burbridge Junior High was an F school last year and grew by a phenomenal 16.2 points, which was the second highest growth in the entire state of Louisiana. As a result of the hard work of the administrators, the parents, the students, the teachers, the board, everybody who has a part in St. Martin Parish, our district grew to 76.6B. So that's an amazing accomplishment for us. That's 3 years of consistent growth. Of course, we talked about this all the time. There's a new accountability model that's coming out, which is designed to kind of put a negative light on public schools. But I've said this over and over again, and I will say this publicly, that our district students are no different than the students from the surrounding parishes, and that's evidenced by the work that was done by the teachers and the administrators in our district. So I'm very, very proud of the work that they've done. And there's only so far we can go, and we're gonna achieve that aid eventually. It's gonna take some hard work. There's long nights and sleepless nights, but the work can be done. I see another student coming in. I'll announce it. But I just wanted to publicly acknowledge the fact that the district is moving in the right direction, and the board, you need to be commended for, and I know sometimes it's not easy, for allowing your administrators and your teachers and the staff to do the work that needs to be done to put a positive light on the district. So kudos to you too. And it should be noted too, and I forgot to mention this, and I'll just quickly mention it. We had top gain schools. So these are schools that their progress index was 90 or higher. So that was Cecilia High School, Parks Primary, St. Martin Early STEAM, St. Martin STEAM, and Stevensville Elementary. And then we had our honoree schools from the state. That was Stevensville Elementary. So kudos to those schools out there.
Any acclamations?
I think I saw student.
Jeremiah.
This is Jeremiah Smith, Broadway Junior High 7th grade student, whose category was poetry, and the title is writing this piece. So congratulations to you, Jeremiah. Gianna Dean, Parks Primary, fourth grade, fiction, and her writing, title of her writing was The Peculiar Light. So stand up, Gianna, so everybody can see.
All right.
Are there any other students that came in? Miss Chris, can we get a picture of our gifted students, please? All of the students, can you please come to the front?
All right, southern scripts,
No employee of the month.
additions or deletions to the agenda items? Any additions or deletions? All right, any items from the consent agenda to be removed and, be discussed? All right, at this time, I will accept the motion to accept the consent agenda items as they are. Motion by Mr. Boje, second by Mr. Durio. Let's vote. Okay, motion passes. Finance Committee recommendations. At this time, I accept the recommendations to accept the Finance Committee recommendations. Motion by Mr. Clay, second by Ms. Vital. And vote. Motion passes. New business, consider and approve Head Start Council recommendations, new members, new officers, MOU with SWLA Center for Health Services, new hire recommendations, and policy council meeting days and times. Ms. Audrey?
We had our regular, November meeting where we had our new members and officers. We're continuing with our memorandum of understanding with Southwest Center, who provides our dental desk services for our Head Start program. We did have some new hire recommendations, and policy council agreed to continue with Mondays at 5, once a month for our policy council meetings.
You got a motion to accept?
Motion.
Ms. Vital, second by Mr. Pulche. Please vote. Motion passes. Okay, item B, consider citizens' request to appear before the board. Yes, ma'am, come on up. You have 5 minutes to go ahead.
Appreciate it. Good evening, my name is Taylor Jordan, and I am a parent, a business owner, and educator in this parish. I was just wondering, board, are you familiar with the State Student of the Year competition? So it is started in the month of October. They have webinars for every, for the parish, for the school, and it's information given out, and it's all available on the Department of Education's webpage. All those forms and documents are uploaded to be given to the parish or at this parish level, and then it's given also to each particular school. So I'm going to explain to you how it occurred at Brokers Junior High versus at the other schools in this parish and throughout the state. So what happened, like I said, at the beginning of October or toward the middle of the week before the end of the competition, the school gave out this notification to the students, okay? All students were given this because they had exceptional grades and so forth. They have a deadline on here as October 31st, and each student was required to go and upload a Google Classroom document. With those documents, once the kids got in, they were able to see all the forms. that was given from the state to the parish, also to the schools. So everything was available for the students to be able to follow, to be able to compete, so they thought, on their school level. So on this form that was given by Rovers Junior High, October 31st was the day that it has on here that the winner should have been announced. So when my finalist came home and I asked her about who was the winner, she couldn't give me an answer because she was never told, her and no one else. So I called Mr. Wilkes, I called a member of the committee, and I also called the district chair to see if she knew who the winner was. No one had an answer for her. So then I began to ask questions, I began to ask my kid, and we kind of went through everything that was listed and that was posted on the webpage in the Google Classroom throughout, for the state and also at the school level. So on Friday, November 1st, again, I couldn't get an answer immediately. I called Mr. Woods again, I called the school. I headed over to the school to actually see who was the winner at Rovers Junior High's level, okay? I could not immediately meet with the principal, so I went ahead and I was able to meet with the person from the chair. So I began to ask her questions like, who was the members of the committee, okay? She told me the 3 individuals. I asked her for a copy of my student's portfolio, and I asked her for the score rules that she probably had used or that was suggested by the state, that was given to the parish, and that was also given to the schools to be followed. Well, I requested that document. It wasn't made available for me. She actually says another member of the committee had it. Well, that's fine. I asked for that writing assignment that my kid, instead of her having an interview, I asked for the writing assignment that was used to determine, because it was different parts of the scoring rubric. And I asked her, one of the committee members, for a copy of the scoring rubric that she had used. Well, of course, it was all given by the state. The state gave the recommendations, the guidelines, everything that you would have needed, so a person would have been able to follow, or the schools would have been able to follow what they needed to do. Everything was given. Well, when I began to look throughout my finalist portfolio, I didn't find any markings. I didn't happen to see any feedback for that particular student that would have indicated how that student was able to score. So again, I asked for the scoring rules. Well, again, it was tossed back and forth through emails between the superintendent, the principal, and the district chair. Of course, I asked questions because I am an educator and I understand in order for you to score something, it should have been marked somewhere. So again, I was forced to wait from the Friday because it was passed back and forth on who had the documents to the Monday. Now, yes, the documents were given to me. It was sent all to me in email. But as I began to review the rubric at every school in the parish, this parish, everybody throughout the state used the same rubric, and it's 4 different sections. So in section 1, it was the academic evaluation, where it discusses a student could have earned 8 points. It was based upon that student's grade point average and assessments. Now, I know my assessments are the grade score is for my particular student, because of course I had the evidence to be able to show it and see that. So a kid could have earned 8 points overall, okay? The second Roman numeral was the application portfolio, where the student had to provide to the school a portfolio with different documents, like their grades, the leadership, the activities, the awards, and so forth. Well, in this particular section, my daughter decided to look at it, and for the activity section, the most points a student could have earned was 10, okay? So I began to ask her, I said, what activities are available to you at your school? Because I teach at the high school level. So typically, I don't really, even though my kid goes to, the junior high, I tend to not, I tend to mind my own business when it comes to stuff like that, because we all do things differently. But she pointed out to me that in the activity section, the most points she could have received was 10. Well, if you think of Parks Middle, Cecilia Junior High, Stephenville Middle, and St. Margaret Junior High, they have activities like STEM. They have activities like, there's more activities available to the students than any other school in the parish. There are activities like honors, junior beta, focus, student council, courses where a student can actually earn high school credit, GLE, talent search, library club, and the list goes on and on. However, at Rovers Junior High, besides athletics, those kids can only join 2 activities, and that's as the bigger competition. They were only able to join focus and 4-H. So I thought to my kid, and she thought to herself as well. She said, well, how can I compete past my school level when the same activities are not available for me to join? When the district chair and their committee get together and look at the portfolios from the students at my school, how can we score the maximum amount of points? And I said, well, that puts you at a disadvantage. You and any kid that attends Brooklyn Junior High that compete for the Louisiana Student of the Year competition, you're at a disadvantage, and that's not fair. So I began to continue to examine the process and so forth. So Roman number 3 was a writing sample, okay? This is a process, it's usually done at the second stage when they get to the district level. But in this particular, at Brooklyn Junior High, they decided to get the kids to write an essay, a 3 to 5 paragraph essay on what was the culture, how could they change the culture and climate of the school. Now, we all know as an educator, or I know for sure, at the end of the school year, that's what I'm asked. I'm asked, how can I change the culture and climate of my school? How can my A grade, how is that even on target for her? And I asked her, I said, do you know what they meant when they said that? And she told me, she said, I had to think of it, but why do I care? And that was my thought process too. Why would you care when you're about to leave the school? So I began again to ask questions to the chair, and she let me know that, hey, yes, this is something that could have been done. But I asked her, I said, was it done at those other schools? So if it wasn't done, if they're all competing for the same competition, and it was not done at those other schools, how is that fair to Brooklyn Junior High kids? They're all competing for the same competition, but it's not fair. It wasn't the same process. So the 4th section, again, was that they could have done an interview, right? Where a student could have earned the maximum amount of points is 25. Well, if I'm gonna ask a kid to write something, but I'm not gonna ask them to read what they wrote, how could that even prepare them for anything beyond that? Words matter. But if a kid is not able to say what they wrote, how could they have possibly scored? So I send my finalists to school every single day, just so she can be prepared, she can do an interview. But in lieu of an interview, Brooklyn Junior High decided to do an essay. Well, when I look at the essay and I looked at the scoring rubric, there are numbers, but there's no indication of how that student earned that score. When in there, it said they could have received 5 points for correction on capitalization, punctuation, spelling, grammar, and so forth. You look at the scoring rubric that they use from the state, but there are no markings throughout the documents. So how can a student have earned those points? And that was my question. So I thought about it and I thought about it. And again, members of the board, I have asked questions, collected a lot of data, because we all like to compare this parish to all the other parishes. And it's just funny to me that a simple competition like Student of the Year, it is unfair to kids that attend Brooklyn Junior High, because they're always going to be at a disadvantage, and that's not fair. That wasn't fair to my kid and no kid after that. So, members of the board, I'm asking you to please help, and I can help you come up with a policy or procedures moving forward to be able to make sure it's fair for every single kid, because right now, my A grade finalist with her good test scores, her high grades, her good grades and high test score will forever have this unfairness on her brain. And it's been hard because somebody decided that they were gonna do something different. And it's not done across the parish. It's not the same. And that's why when I'm asked as an educator, why I teach or I participate or how I'm included in a system that's under these standards. And how can an old case from so far ago, long ago, still linger on the educational system? Here's your example. It is not fair for all students. Whether people retire here in this parish or not, and we put people in place that look differently, it's still not fair. That's not making it fair to everyone. Just because you're putting somebody else in place. If every kid is not given the same opportunities in this parish, we will never get out of DC. We can show and statistically have all the numbers everywhere. But if we're not doing the things and making it fair across the board, we can't win. The students are not winning. We're here for the students. I'm in the classroom every day, working hard for my students. But yet my kid has this disadvantage. It's easy for me. Yes, I can take her out and put in Lafayette Parish, but that's not what I want to do. I want to stand here and help and get something done with you guys. I want you to create a policy that will moving forward is going to make it fair for all students. And if we do that, it'll be a fair competition. Because right now, Brooklyn Junior High students cannot compete past their student level versus the district or all further on to the regional level. Because even though those committees are formed at the district level, when you have Vincent and Ellen and so forth, they don't know that Brooklyn Junior High kids only have, besides athletics, have 2 activities to join. They're just going through the portfolio and they're grading it. No one knows this. So that's unfair to all those kids. My kid wants to stand and be an advocate. I don't let her help her do that. So moving forward, guys, I would like for you guys to help, or I would help you create a policy that will assist these kids in being able to compete.
I need to ask a question.
Mhm.
Was you aware of the selection process prior to your kid being, offered a student deal?
I wasn't made aware of it, but I knew the process because it's on the state of Louisiana Department of Education webpage. So my school participates in a competition. So yes, I am, I'm aware of the steps and the procedures.
Now, you made mention again. I didn't know they didn't have a beta club at the junior high.
Well, after I brought it up, yes, they did the following Monday. But again, they did create that program, and yes, moving forward, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But for the competition, it was no help to those students.
Right. That in itself draws good students to school. And that might be some of the reason why we're not getting the students from, normally when it comes to the junior high process, kids seem to go elsewhere.
Well, you know why? Because when you exit I-10
Right.
in St. Mark Parish, depending upon if you go left or right, that's determining your kid's education. And that's what we have today. So if I go left over here to Henderson and Cecilia, the opportunities are there.
I represent.
I
both that
thought
district.
all junior high had the same.
Well, I thought so too.
Well,
Yeah.
No, they don't. Two programs.
They also.
Besides athletics. Besides athletics. And again, we can sit here and say, well, we don't have the teachers, but guess what? You need to advertise for that. Because I don't remember seeing an advertisement that asks for a teacher that's credentialed to teach certain things. So again, moving forward, guys, I would just like for you to come up with a policy and procedure so we can put it in place to make it fair for all
So it's
students.
been like that for a long time.
Within the past 5 to 7 years, past the highest, past the school level, it's only been one winner on the parish level. So when the parish voted for it, vote for the students, it's only been one Burbridge Junior High student. And that was in 2018, probably 15, no, 18 or 17, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's only been one winner.
I knew that story.
But is it only the Brew Creek
I
Junior
understand.
High and not Cecilia or not St. Martinville?
Yes,
Junior High?
Well, they all are, they all are competing, but only Burbridge Junior High students have those 2 activities. The rest of them have a lot, more than 5.
All right, I would suggest.
So we don't offer the same thing, is what you're saying?
We don't
Correct.
offer the same thing.
They offer
Enough
nothing.
activities.
They offer nothing.
Well, we're gonna look into it, Jordan. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
We might need your help.
You got it.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, next item, let's see. Executive session, do I have a motion to go into executive session? Say what?
There's supposed to be a deal on it here.
We have some more students that came in?
I haven't reviewed.
There was a student who walked in.
But, yeah, we gotta go to executive. Okay, we got a motion by Ms. Detail, second by Mr. Clay, to go into executive session. All right. Motion to come out of executive session. Whoa. Cortez, second by Mr. Aguirre. And at this time, I go for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Clay, second by Mr. Marlin. All in favor?
It's Friday. I'll send out an email tomorrow. I don't know how to, I'm gonna just, are they on SBSB announcements?
Over check. Over check.
No other way.
No, end up probably in New York, right off the call. Can't keep people out.